previous feed, comment section got shut down. Then, of course, the viewership gets like it's so goddamn obvious what's happening. You show me somebody else like this. You show me somebody else that goes live and complains that suddenly the comment section gets shut off on a regular basis. And what I've figured is that they shut the comment section off when they know they look stupid and they don't want them to continue like falling into the trap. But you can think whatever you want, you know, I mean, how you would explain it, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear what your explanation for why suddenly my comment section gets shut off on a regular basis. It's not like this is some sort of weird thing that never happens. This happens all the time. And it's this specific thing. It's not like it's, you know, other weird shit. What's up, Matt? But explain it. Make it make sense. Show me somebody else that experiences this, though, so they and I can talk about it. Because I'd love to hear from somebody else what somebody else thinks is going on here. So, I had already read some of it, but I'm going to reread it because this one's important. It's called the Leahy Law. The Leahy Law, or Leahy Amendments, are U.S. human rights laws that prohibit the U.S. Department of State and the Department of Defense from providing military assistance to foreign security forces that violate human rights with impunity. It is named after its principal sponsor, Senator Patrick Leahy. To implement this law, the U.S. embassies, the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, and the appropriate regional bureau of the U.S. Department of State vet potential recipients of security assistance. If a unit is found to have been credibly implicated in a serious abuse of human rights, assistance is denied until the host nation government takes effective steps to bring the responsible persons within the unit to justice. While the U.S. government does not publicly report on foreign armed forces units it has cut off from receiving assistance, press reports have indicated that security forces and National Defense Force units in Australia, Bangladesh, Bolivia, Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico, Nigeria, Turkey, Indonesia, Lebanon, and St. Lucia have been denied assistance due to the Leahy Law. On the other hand, Israel has never been denied assistance under this law. So it has a special section here, like it talks about origins and background, text of the laws, vetting process, withholding of assistance, criticisms of the law and its implementation. The Leahy Law in Israel, it has its own section. While the Leahy Act should apply uniformly to all countries, experts say U.S., not the U.S., because you have to remember, this is all edited by Israel. They control this narrative. So when there are these little grammatical things that like what? Experts say U.S. has created, the U.S. has created a set of procedures through what is known as the Israel Leahy Review Form. And again, of course, Israel is going to edit this particular part. So the person that edited this probably doesn't speak English as their first language, which is why, you know, a lot of countries, they say things like, I have to go to hospital today. Not, I have to go to the hospital. They say, I have to go to hospital. So obviously, a foreign hand has its claw into this article. A number of observers have complained the Leahy Act has not been enacted in response to what they have claimed are human rights abuses by the Israeli military, which again is just, there's no claim, it's a proven, undeniable fact. In 2011, Haaretz reported that Leahy, after being approached by constituents in Vermont, was pushing clauses that would bar aid to 3 elite Israeli military units that have been accused of human rights violations in the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza. But that's not how the Leahy Act works. It's not that you deny funding to those particular things. Funding is supposed to be shut off to Israel until Israel fixes that. That's what the Leahy Law stipulates. The country that harbors criminals, that harbors war criminals, doesn't receive financial aid, financial assistance from the United States. Like it's so obvious, and this is big boy stuff. Like this isn't, you can be I just don't like your haircut. We're talking about politics and law and what they want us to know. Approached and pushed human rights occupation. A spokesman for Leahy denied this. Leahy's Senate webpage repeats his views that while, quote, he supports Israel's right to defend itself. Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel has a right to defend itself. Just that robotic fucking response. He, quote, he disagrees with restrictions on imports of goods into Gaza as it amounts to collective punishment with Israel's use of excessive force in Gaza, which has caused the deaths of hundreds of civilians, huh? Think about how stupid this is. And with home demolitions and settlement construction in the West Bank. It's thousands, it's millions over the years. Hundreds of civilian deaths. And of course, he prefaces things by acknowledging his allegiance. Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel is not being attacked. Even if October 7th was real, which it's not, it's a complete, total false flag, which is pretty easy to prove. But even if it was, they would have been completely justified in their attack, considering 2023 by October was setting up to be the deadliest year for the Palestinians since 2006, with over 240 Palestinians already killed and thousands more taken hostage by October 7th. And it was second only to 2022, which was the deadliest year for the Palestinians since 2006. Second only to 2021, which was the deadliest year for the Palestinians since 2006. And that number had been climbing for years. So they had every right to attack, to defend themselves, if that is, in fact, what was happening, or what happened. It didn't, obviously. October 7th is a complete fabrication. Funny how I title my shit something important like Leahy Law and nobody comes in. That's really interesting, don't you think? In February 2016, 11 members of Congress, including Leahy, sent a letter to the State Department demanding a review of the Leahy Act be conducted after reports of extrajudicial killings by Israeli and Egyptian military forces. Nothing came of that, though. In April 2024, ProPublica reported that Secretary of State Anthony Blinken had refused to act on recommendations from the Israel-Leahy Vetting Forum to sanction Israeli units that had participated in human rights violations, including torture, rape, extrajudicial killings in the West Bank. So not only is he refusing, Secretary of State Blinken is refusing to act against the individual groups, which isn't what the Leahy says. The Leahy Act says. Like, that's so stupid. Can you imagine trying to police what individual units are doing in Israel and how much funding we're giving individual units? Like, we know that. Do we have shit set up that each unit is individually funded by the United States, almost like they're the 51st United States, so it's part of the funding program? Is that what they're saying? Either way, again, it's not supposed to be that way. The Leahy Act punishes Israel as a whole for harboring these criminals. Charles Blaha, a former State Department official, explained that Israel receives special treatment under the Leahy Law because the decision on any sanction is taken by the department's top political appointees rather than by career officials. The decision on any sanction is taken by the department's top political appointees rather than career officials. I wonder what that means. Blaha stated that information for any other country would without question result information that for any other country would without question result in ineligibility is insufficient for Israeli security force units. Why? That's a pretty significant thing to say. That's literally, like, if you read it out, it's like a joke. I mean, I don't even understand. I'm not like, it's not like this is one of those puzzles that you stare at and eventually you get the image inside the dots, and a lot of people can't do it. And this is one of those things where I'm the only one that seemingly can see the ship in the picture. That's not what's happening here. Or is it? Like, I don't see how anybody can see this any other way. There are specific laws on the books that state if any country is harboring a group of war criminals, then they no longer receive funding from the United States. And instead of it being the rule that is, Israel not only gets these special provisions where they're talking about only sanctioning individual groups somehow, but just not doing it at all. That's fucking crazy. That's just fucking crazy. I just... Anyway, looks like this one is completely shut down, so I'm going to bounce anyway. Go check out the descriptions, get your free downloads, do whatever. Obviously, you know, if you want to know who rules you, look at who you're not allowed to scrutinize or question. You would think, like, it just doesn't matter. Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. Have yourself a great day, and you pedophiles, you kill yourself.